Welcome to another 30 minutes of gentle chair yoga. My name is Kat, and today we're going to be working on child's pose, both in the chair and on the floor. Janu Shirsasana, or head to the knee pose, and Triangle Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana, or three-angled forward bend. To start, we're going to do child's pose, or Adho Mukha Virasana, downward facing hero pose, in the chair. So we'll need 2 chairs for this today, and also if you have a bolster or a rolled sticky mat and blanket, that will be helpful. So to start, you're going to slide back in your chair and take your feet a little bit wider than the legs of the chair, knees and toes pointed slightly out to the side. Take your second chair and place that in front of you. Now this is the minimal amount of props for this. You can take your hands to the seat of the chair and the forehead to the seat of the chair. Stretching out through the arms, resting the forehead on the seat of the chair. Bring your hands back to the front edge of the chair and push up. So that might be a little bit of a deep stretch for some people. You can use a bolster to make that a little bit more comfortable. I'm going to show this from the side. So, get my bolster out of the way. I'm going to put one chair to the side and have my other chair facing it. First, let me show you what that child's pose without any other props looked like. I'm scooted way back in the chair. I've got my feet to the outer edges of the chair. I'm coming forward with my hands to the far edge of the chair and resting my head on the seat of the chair. So that's one version of child's pose in the chair. Bringing the hands back to the sides of the head on the front edge of the chair, pushing up. And now I'm going to show with a bolster. If you don't have a yoga bolster, you can roll a sticky mat and a yoga blanket together to make a bolster. Put one edge of the bolster on the edge of the chair that you're sitting in. Bring the torso forward over the bolster. Take off your glasses if you're wearing glasses. Turn your head to the side. Just resting my hands on the other chair. This is a little bit of a gentler, more supported version of child's pose in the chair. Now, bring your hands back to the sides of the chair, push yourself up, and I'm going to show you how to make this pose a little bit deeper. If you'd like to go deeper into the pose, you would use 2 blocks underneath your feet. So, getting your 2 blocks. You would put these blocks just to the outside legs of the chair that you're sitting in, and put your feet up on top of the blocks. Again, bringing the bolster in front of you, folding forward. This will deepen the stretch in your hips. And even rest your forehead on your folded hands. And this is a pose you can stay in for up to 5, even 10 minutes, resting and letting the back stretch, letting the hips stretch. All right, So there's a couple of variations of this pose that you can do. I'm going to show you the next variation from the front. This is child's pose to the side, or Parsva. Getting the blocks out of the way and turning the chair back to front so you can see these variations. So starting forward and then pushing yourself up, turn your bolster so that it is crosswise in the chair and bring that chair out to the side, just about 45 degrees to the side. And the knee and bolster should be making a T shape, so perpendicular to each other. From here you can lift and lengthen through the spine, twist gently to the right, and then fold forward, resting your forehead on your hands, resting the right side ribs on the right thigh. Breathe here. You want to stay here for at least 5 easy, soft inhales and exhales. And then pushing yourself up. We'll do this Parsva Adho Mukha Virasana, side child's pose in the chair. On the left side, moving your chair to the left, knee and bolster perpendicular to each other. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. And come forward out over that left leg. Rest the forehead on the hands. Left side ribs resting on the left thigh. Again, take 5 or more breaths here. Soft, easy inhale and exhale. And then push yourself up and turn back to center. So forward child's pose is a nice variation if you don't get on the floor for final relaxation pose. The version with the bolster is good to use for that shavasana or final relaxation. Now we're going to work on Janu Shirsasana, head of the knee pose. For this one, you can get down on the floor, or I'm going to show with 2 chairs first. You will probably want a strap for this, just in case. And I'm going to get that. If you can't easily reach your toes, you're going to want to use this strap. So I'll show you from the front first, and then I'll turn to the side so you can see it on the second side. So you're going to lift your right leg up, place it on the back on the seat of the chair, lift your left leg up, place it on the seat of the chair. Okay, sitting up straight. This is Dandasana, staff pose in the chairs. Scoot yourself so that you're at a comfortable position, both in the chair that you're sitting in and the chair that you are placing your feet in. So you want to have yourself back in the chair that you're sitting on, so there's a little bit of space on the seat of the chair in front of you. Then bend your bend your right knee, and bring that right leg to the side. And your options here are to bring that right foot onto the chair that you are sitting on here. Or if you can't bend the knee that far, you can keep the foot bent on the chair where your feet are already resting. So I'm going to come back to the seat of my chair. And then using the belt, you can loop the belt around your left foot. Hold with your right hand. Left hand can come to the left hip. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, gently turn towards the straight left leg. You can stay here or walk your hand down the belt towards your foot. If you can reach the foot with your hands, you're going to hold on to the foot with your hands, or hold the belt as far down towards the foot as you can. Whatever works for you. If you're holding on to the foot, you can go a little bit further by bending the elbows out to the side and looking down towards the shin. And then straightening the arms, lift up, release the foot and the belt. Bring that right leg forward. Okay, I'm going to show you this pose from the side now. You're going to repeat on the left side. So, from the side, the pose is going to look like this. 2 chairs facing each other. Have the belt ready. You're sitting back in the seat of the chair so that you have a little bit of room on the seat of the chair in front of you to place that foot. You're going to put that foot on the seat of the chair and adjust a little bit to be comfortable in the chair. If you can't reach that foot to the chair that you're sitting in, you're going to leave it on the chair in front of you. Then turn towards that straight right leg and take the belt, loop the belt around your right foot, sitting up straight and turning the waist, turning the ribs toward that right leg. You can stay here or going further into the pose, walk your hands down the belt towards your foot. If you can reach the sole of the foot, grab either side of the sole of the foot. Straight arms, lift the chest, and then bend the elbows out to the side and look down at your right leg. Good. And then releasing, sit back up, bring your left knee in and straighten the leg out. All right, so for this next pose, Triangle Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana, 3-angled forward bend pose, you're going to, if you're in the chair, bend your right knee and just place your right foot on the floor. All right, so this is as far as you'll go. If you're seated in the chair, you will lift the chest, roll the shoulders back and down, reach the arms up alongside the ears, and come forward out over the leg. Hold on to either side of the foot. Now, if you can't reach the foot, you're going to use a belt, walking your hands down towards the foot as far as you can. Lifting the chest, shoulders away from the ears. And then if you're holding on to the foot, you can bend the elbows and pull yourself forward out over that left leg. Good. And then straighten the leg, or straighten the spine. Bend your left leg and place your left foot on the floor. Lift your right leg up and have your right leg straight. Again, using the belt or reaching with your arms, bring the arms up alongside the ears, lift and lengthen, and then come forward out over the leg. Hold on to either side of the foot. First, lift the spine, lengthening, finding that stretch in the back of the right leg. Then bending your elbows out to the side. Look down towards your right shin. Rounding down over the leg, pulling with your hands gently to stretch the back of the leg, stretch the back of the spine. Breathing here. And then lifting the chest, reach the arms forward and up, and bring the arms back down by the sides. Good. Now I'm going to show you this pose seated on the floor. So if you're not getting down on the floor, you're going to repeat doing it in the chair. I'm going to get the chairs out of the way. And I'm going to use a couple of blankets. So I have my yoga blankets like this. I'm going to fold them so they make more of a fat rectangle. From this side, fold the folded edge. You're going to place them with the fringes in one direction and the neat folds in the other direction. And the two folds going opposite directions. So one fold is on this side and the other fold is on this side. That just keeps the blankets as even as possible for your hips. Placing the blankets to the back edge of your sticky mat, you're going to sit in Dandasana up on the blanket. So I'm sitting here on top of the two blankets. Again, I'll show you this from the front first, and then I'll show you from the side. So bending the right knee first, you're going to lift up the right leg and then place the right leg in Virasana or hero pose. So knees are close together, foot is just to the outside of the hip, top of the foot on the floor, toes pointed back. If this is a challenge for you, try sitting on a couple more blankets. From here, reach the arms forward and up, and then coming out over the leg, reach for the sole of the foot. If you can't reach the sole of the foot, you're going to put the belt around the foot and simply walk your hands down the belt towards the foot as far as you can. If you can hold the foot, then bend the elbows out to the side and look down towards the shin. Trianga Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana, 3 angled forward bend. Bring your hands back to the sides of the body and sit up, and then holding on to the front of the ankle, bring that right leg forward and stretch the right leg out straight. Now, I'm going to show you from the side. You can stay where you are. I want you to be able to see better that position of the bent knee. So, I've got my blankets to one end of my mat, making sure that they're nice and flat. I'm going to sit up on my blankets and stretch the legs straight out in front of me. Okay? This time I'm bending the left knee, holding behind the left knee, bending the leg in, and then taking the left leg down to the floor, shin and top of the foot. Come to the top of the floor and the knees stay close together. Ankle is just to the outside of the hip. From here, I'm going to reach the arms up and then fold forward to the foot, holding on to the sides of the foot or using your belt. If you're using a belt, you're going to walk your hands as close to the foot as you can reach, keeping the chest lifted. If you're holding on to the foot, you can bend the elbows and look down. Take a few breaths here. And then bring your hands back to the hips. Push yourself up and release your foot forward. And stretch the leg out straight. And that is 3 angled forward bend on the floor. I'm now going to show you Janu Shirsasana, or head of the knee pose on the floor. I'm going to show you from the side first. So I'm going to show the left leg going back first. We're sitting here in Dandasana. You can take your right leg, this is your left leg, back into the side and bring the knee down to the floor. Now, if the knee doesn't come down to the floor easily, you can use a rolled blanket or a bolster. So say that my leg was hanging out here in the sky. We're going to just support that knee with a bolster. You can roll up a blanket, use a couch pillow, whatever you have on hand, even a yoga block. My leg's coming down to the floor. If you are able to get your leg down to the floor easily, you may not need that lift behind you. You can come down off that lift. Just make sure that that leg is still touching the floor. Then reach your left arm up alongside your ear and reach forward for that right foot. Again, if you can't reach the foot, use the belt and pull yourself forward over the leg. Taking a few breaths here. Then walk your hands back to your hips and push up. Bring your hand to the outside of the knee, bring the knee in, and stretch the leg out straight. Okay, so you're going to bend the right knee next. I'm going to turn so I'm facing you for this variation, for this repetition. So in Dandasana, staff pose, keep that left leg straight, bend the right leg out and to the side. Top of the foot and shin touch the floor. Turn towards your straight left leg. Reach the right arm up alongside the ear and come forward to grab the foot with the right hand or the belt. Bring the left hand forward as well and bend down over the leg. Again, take a few breaths here. Keep turning the abdomen toward the straight left leg. So it's not just the shoulders that are turning. You're trying to get the whole abdomen, the navel to turn toward the left leg. And then releasing, bringing the hands to the sides, push up, bring your hand to the outside of the knee, bring the knee in, and stretch stretch the leg out. Finally, I'd like to show you child's pose or downward facing hero, Adho Mukha Virasana, on the floor with a couple of different props. So first, we'll do it without props. I'm going to put my bolster and my blankets off to the side. Coming to hands and knees. Get my strap out of the way as well. So on hands and knees, bring your big toes together and step your knees slightly wider than your hips. Sit back towards your heels. So ideally, your hips would come all the way down to your heels. If the hips don't touch the heels, you're going to grab one of your blankets or a pillow and make sure that you can get some connection there. So I've got a blanket in between my hips and my heels. And then keeping that connection, keeping the hips down on the heels, you're going to walk your hands forward as far as they'll reach, keeping the hips on the heels. I'm going to take my knees just a little bit wider so that my ribs have room to come down in between my thighs, and release the head down to the floor. So this is an active child's pose. I'm lifting the elbows away from the floor as the shoulders descend towards the floor. Forehead is resting, but arms are active. Let the hips release down towards the heels. There should be a connection there, either between the hips and the heels or with the blanket in between. Good, and then bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and push yourself all the way up. Now, what happens if your head doesn't come easily to the floor? You can fold up a blanket and put a blanket underneath your head. You can also use a block. So I'm going to show that. I'm still going to have this blanket in between my hips and heels because my hips come up. I'm going to take this yoga blanket and make it into a narrow rectangle and place that on the floor in front of me. Walking my hands forward, I'll adjust that to rest my forehead. I'm going to move my hand so you can see that. My nose is free, just my forehead is supported. Stretching here, letting those hips release down, lifting the elbows, descending the shoulders, reaching the arms away from the hips. Releasing the hips away from the shoulders. And again, draw the hands back underneath the shoulders. Push yourself up and removing the blanket from behind. If you were using that, we will come to an easy cross legs position, or you may still be in the chair. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. The light in me acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for coming to class and working so hard. I look forward to seeing you again soon.